Here's your news for October 5th, 2019. We're kicking off with the debut episode of SmackDown on Fox, as the show saw plenty of huge moments during the broadcast. Though the show was 2 hours long, it only took a handful of seconds for Brock Lesnar to capture his 8th WWE World title when he faced off against Kofi Kingston. In Lesnar's first TV match in 15 years, the Beast immediately dropped Kingston with an F5, winning the WWE title and ending Kofi's reign that started at WrestleMania 35. The now former champion barely had enough time to leave the ring when Rey Mysterio's music hit, as the masked legend was still rightly ticked off for the beating Lesnar gave him and his son. The real story here, though, is the man Rey was with, as former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez appeared by his side and delivered some heavy blows to Lesnar, who escaped out of the ring. MMA fans will remember Brock teasing a return to the UFC in 2010 to face Velasquez, but ultimately backed down at Paul Heyman's urging. With the final image of SmackDown on Fox being Cain standing tall in the ring, fans can expect to see more of him, and his signing is a huge deal for WWE. According to recent reports, every major promotion, including New Japan and AEW, were after Cain following his successful appearances in AAA, but it looks like Cain is here to stay in WWE. Of course, Cain's arrival and SmackDown as a whole wouldn't have been possible without Vince McMahon, who opened up the show with his daughter Stephanie. It wouldn't quite be a big WWE moment without the father-daughter duo, and while Vince may be the man when it comes to creating WWE, the company has a new "the man" in Becky Lynch. Showing up on SmackDown, Lynch was quickly interrupted by King Baron Corbin, though he was interrupted himself by none other than The Rock. Describing Corbin as a fake Burger King and even a 35-year-old virgin at Comic-Con, the Great One showed why he is still regarded as the greatest talker of all time. He and Lynch would dub the King a super tough dude, or STD for short, and the King was left reeling after a beatdown from the man and the Brahma Bull. The Rock would also call SmackDown his home, proving that no matter how many Hollywood movies he makes, Dwayne Johnson will always be a superstar. Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon's feud finally came to an end on this week's SmackDown after what felt like years of back and forth between the two. Meeting in a loser-leaves-town ladder match, both men had everything to lose, but it was eventually Shane who fell short, as Owens powerbombed the best in the world off of a ladder onto another ladder to secure the victory. With his career safe, Owens would take great pleasure in telling Shane, "You're fired," the very same words McMahon uttered to him not too long ago. This week's SmackDown on Fox also helped build to this Sunday's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view thanks to a special edition of the Firefly Funhouse. The segment saw Rambling Rabbit play Seth Rollins and Mercy the Buzzard portray The Fiend, as once again, the Universal Champion was victimized by the demonic force. Rabbit tried to advise Seth not to face The Fiend this Sunday at Hell in a Cell, but when the puppet tried to reveal more of The Fiend's past, his tenure came to a horrific and brutal end. Trying to put that aside, Rollins would take on Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura during the show, though much like his puppet counterpart, would be blindsided by Wyatt. A clear message ahead of their title match this Sunday, it seems The Fiend is in Rollins' head, though Nakamura did request a rematch against the Beast Slayer, who certainly has a lot on his mind. One superstar who knows all about facing Rollins on pay-per-view is Braun Strowman, who nearly came to blows with a very unlikely opponent. During the final moments of an 8-man tag team match, the Monster Among Men shared the screen with lineal heavyweight boxing champ Tyson Fury, who seemed to share a joke with Strowman. When Braun flung Dolph Ziggler into the barricade, though, Fury wasn't laughing and even jumped the barricade but was quickly stopped by security. Time will tell whether this moment will lead up to a match, but having Fury versus Strowman would be a marquee match for any edition of SmackDown, or perhaps even WrestleMania. This week's show also saw another tag match featuring the 4 horsewomen of the WWE, as Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair teamed up to face The Boss and Hug Connection. In a highly emotional match ahead of The Boss and the Man's Hell in a Cell Raw Women's title match this Sunday, everyone was looking to impress on SmackDown's debut on Fox, but it was Charlotte Flair who stood out the most. After taking out both Banks and Bayley with a picture-perfect moonsault, the Queen would lock in the figure 8 on the Hugger to get the submission victory, a win that could surely lead to another shot at the SmackDown Women's title. Also on the show, Roman Reigns and Eric Rowan tried to settle their differences once again when they met in a ring surrounded by superstars. The lumberjack situation was put in place to avoid any interference by Luke Harper, who helped Rowan win at Clash of Champions, and the former Intercontinental Champion set his sights on Daniel Bryan instead. As the two brawled, Reigns would level practically everyone outside the ring with a big dive, and after Bryan neutralized Harper with a running knee, the big dog dropped Rowan with a spear to get the win. Though Reigns and Bryan were standing tall on SmackDown, it'll be interesting to see whether they can coexist this Sunday at Hell in a Cell, where the two will team up to face Rowan and Harper on pay-per-view. Last night's show was certainly a huge night for WWE to say the least, as the Fox viewers also got to see the excitement and unpredictability of the 24/7 Championship. Backstage, R-Truth and Carmella were seen chatting with DJ Marshmello before the trio were interrupted by both the Bella Twins and Heavy Machinery, who showed up with chocolate and graham crackers, hoping to make s'mores. Mello, realizing the situation he was in, quickly made a run for it, knocking down Carmella and accidentally winning the 24/7 title. We think Mello was shocked by his unlikely win, but it's hard to tell given his facial expressions. But the title reign of the famed music producer didn't last long. In a WWE.com exclusive, Mello can be seen trying to flee the arena, only to be confronted by a duplicate Marshmello. Distracted by the imposter, the real Mello was easy prey for a third Marshmello, who rolled him up to get the win, and the two fakes revealed themselves to be R-Truth and Carmella. With this win, the Staten Island Princess is now a two-time 24/7 champion, and fans will just have to wait and see who the champ will be confronted by next. Maybe Daft Punk. It wasn't all good news for WWE this week though, as Jeff Hardy was arrested once again this past Thursday for driving while impaired. The Moore County Police Department in North Carolina confirmed that Hardy was released about 11:30 p.m., but said little else as it's an ongoing investigation. The charismatic Enigma returned to WWE alongside his brother Matt in 2017, but he's been out of action since April due to a leg injury and was given a return window of 6 to 9 months after his knee surgery in May. Hardy's problems with the law have been well documented, as he was arrested for public intoxication in July this year, as well as having another DWI incident in March 2018. Jeff's shaky past includes 2 wellness policy violations between 2006 and 2009, as well as his infamous on-screen incident at TNA's Victory Road show in 2011, where he main evented the show despite being in no condition to. Hardy's struggle with addiction was covered in the WWE Network documentary The Hardys Woken, and the company issued the following statement saying, "Jeff Hardy is responsible for his own personal actions." This isn't the first time Hardy has had a run-in with the law as a WWE superstar, but unless he can prove to the company it won't happen again, it may be the last, as fans can't help but wonder what WWE will do with the former world champion who continues to make headlines for all the wrong reasons. More unfortunate news from WWE now, as though SmackDown on Fox was a huge show, fans at the arena weren't exactly thrilled when the show stopped rolling. Following the show, WWE thanked fans for coming, and though many expected a dark match or perhaps a guest appearance by another legend, neither happened. Even 205 Live, which is usually filmed after SmackDown, was cut, leading to boos from the fans and a chant for Stone Cold Steve Austin, who filmed a pre-taped segment before the show went live. The boos from the crowd were even louder when an advertisement for the XFL was aired, but on the whole, SmackDown's premiere on Fox was a huge win for the WWE, the superstars, Fox, and most of the fans who watched the show. And finally today we're looking at AEW, as the main event of the second episode of Dynamite has been confirmed. Following a blockbuster debut on TNT this week, AEW champion Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara will face Dustin Rhodes and Adam Page on next Wednesday's show at the Agganis Arena in Boston. Other matches announced for the show include Jon Moxley vs. Shawn Spears and the Young Bucks facing the Private Party in the AEW Tag Title Tournament. And after such a huge debut this week, it'll be interesting to see what the company can deliver next Wednesday. Well guys, that's our news for today. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to check out our previous video, 10 huge, shocking WWE 2019 rumors you need to know about. Also check out our other high-rated videos by clicking at the upper right-hand corner or down in the description field. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and the bell icon so you don't miss a single new video. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, thank you for watching.